Okay, let's dive right in. Today, we're exploring a profoundly moving modern Japanese story called The Years We Thought We Had. It's this beautiful, poignant exploration of love, indecision, and the really dangerous illusion of making temporary choices. It's the kind of narrative that literally forces you to look in the mirror and ask some pretty hard questions about how we spend our days and honestly who we spend them waiting for. Right off the bat, this haunting quote hits you, perfectly capturing the core thesis of the whole story. I mean, think about it. We spend so much energy terrified of making the wrong decision, right? Taking the wrong job, marrying the wrong person, moving to the wrong city. But this story poses a much more terrifying question. What if this simple act of waiting itself is actually the wrong choice?
Part 1, a train window reflection.
So our narrative kicks off on a Shinkansen train heading out of Tokyo, where we meet 52-year-old Takashi Mori. He's a creative director who has, quite frankly, completely mastered the art of being emotionally absent. He's figured out how to divide his life so thoroughly that no one truly has him. In Tokyo, it's all fast-paced disconnection, nonstop phones, endless work meetings, and a massive emotional distance from his wife. To escape all that noise, he retreats to the quiet, isolating snow country of Niigata. He's looking for authentic connection and deep conversation at a small, traditional ryokan. He just wants an escape from the relentless machinery of his life. But, as you'll see, that quiet snow hides a whole lot. Which brings us to part 2, the illusion of temporary. While seeking this quiet escape at the ryokan, Takashi meets the 36-year-old manager, Aki Sato. The two of them quickly bond over this shared secret. They are both treating their current lives as a temporary holding pattern. They're living in the in-between, totally convinced that their real lives will start eventually. And to really grasp Aki's situation, we have to look at the number 8. She originally moved back from her fast-paced advertising career in Tokyo to help her mother run the inn for just one single year after her father passed away. But that 1 year has quietly, almost invisibly, stretched into 8 long years.
The really crucial point here is how these tiny, seemingly reasonable delays just snowball. Just until spring, just until mom is stronger, just until bookings improve. Every single excuse makes perfect, logical sense in the moment, but put them all together and they end up completely paralyzing Aki. She's sidelined from her own dreams, and eventually the ultimate trap gets added to our list, just until Takashi figures out what he wants.
And you can actually trace how this builds over time. What starts as a brief snow delay in February steadily transforms into a permanent fixture in Takashi's routine. He actively avoids going home to Tokyo. By August, he's literally fabricating work meetings just to justify traveling back to Niigata. He tells himself it's totally innocent, that he just enjoys talking to Aki. But we are clearly watching a man escaping his reality, one visit at a time. Moving on to Part 3, the cost of waiting. As this emotional entanglement deepens, we start to see that their total inability to commit creates a massive burden, but a deeply unequal one. There is a profound asymmetry in their realities. Think about it. Takashi experiences the relationship through fun, temporary visits. Aki experiences the heavy, real life between them. He gets to go back to Tokyo feeling refreshed, carrying this warm memory of her. But Aki? She's left behind plunging drains, paying the bills, and dealing with her aging mother. His temporary magical escape is just her everyday prison.
Part 4, other unlived wives.
This kind of indecision, it creates immense collateral damage. It isn't just hurting Takashi and Aki, it's deeply affecting the people around them. People like Mio, a self-sacrificing local nurse who basically gave up her own life to care for her father in the town. And most notably, Emi, Takashi's wife of 24 years back in Tokyo. When Emi finally uncovers Takashi's secret ryokan trips through a reservation email, she delivers this absolute gut punch of a line. Did it ever occur to you that I had a life I didn't get to? Takashi has spent his entire marriage mourning his own unlived potential, while being completely, utterly blind to the fact that Emi sacrificed her youth and her dreams to stay in their marriage too.
And this actually perfectly parallels a moment where Aki challenges Takashi about his own 52 years on Earth, asking, "What have you spent years on?" Emi and Aki, though miles apart, are essentially holding up the exact same mirror to Takashi. They are forcing him to realize that he spent decades treating everyone else's choices as mere background noise to his own existence. He's literally been treating time as something that just waits around for him to finally make a decision. So, Part 5, the ultimate breaking point. The narrative tension reaches an absolute boiling point in Chapter 6. Aki finally realizes something devastating. Being deeply loved by Takashi isn't actually enough to save her from her circumstances, because love, without any action behind it, is just another form of waiting. So she makes a massive leap. She accepts a hospitality job in Kanazawa, completely shattering the illusion of their little temporary world. When Takashi tries to question it, she shuts it down, telling him flat out that he doesn't get to put their future in her hands because he waited entirely too long to hold it himself. She confronts him with this absolutely devastating question: what is loving you making of me? She confesses how much she hates that she started living as if his arrival is the single event her entire life is organized around. She realizes that her love for him is actually diminishing her own existence, turning her into a supporting character in a life that she is supposed to be starring in. When he's finally forced to the edge, terrified of losing her, Takashi confesses his love. But, and this is the tragic kicker here, he immediately asks for more time to leave his wife. He wants the ultimate reward of her presence without paying the immediate cost of a real, hard decision. And right then and there, he proves to Aki that he still treats time as a limitless excuse. Part 6. Discover the unwritten ending. Right at this incredible breaking point in the snow, the story masterfully cuts away. It jumps a full 30 years into the future, landing all the way in the year 2056, to reveal the permanent, undeniable consequences of the choices they made in that ryokan. Which brings us to the ultimate question of the whole story. What do Takashi and Aki actually choose? Do they leave their old lives to be together? Do they stay out of duty and obligation? Or do they simply waste 30 years waiting for a perfect moment that never, ever arrives? Now, I am absolutely not going to spoil this incredible 30-year epilogue for you today. If you want to find out the ending, visit https:/imaginarytalks.com/what-we-called-temporary Japanese love story to read the ending. The way the author handles the consequences of time passing is just something you have to experience for yourself. It is a breathtaking piece of writing. Until you do read that ending, I want to leave you with this final provocative thought to chew on. Is uncertainty just a waiting room outside of life? Or is it life itself? Think about your own day-to-day. What choices might you be delaying right now, telling yourself it's just temporary? Remember, time never waits for us to be ready. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer today. Go check out the story, and I promise you it will change the way you look at the time you have left.